Noah, right now, my expectations is that honestly, I think he's just gonna have fun this year. He gon' he'll win some races. I think he's gonna put himself out there in some spots where he could get got. Because Noah's gonna take some L's on the way to gathering the data, which is why like his championship victories have not come in the 100, have not come with him winning everything. I don't think he's that guy in the 100. I just think he's the deadliest guy we have in the 100 because he catches you slipping.
Because yeah, Melissa is, like you said, she's like the theoretical crown holder. She's a world champion. And it's like, okay, who's going to take her down? Because she's going to be on the circuit this year. I think Sha'Carri looked the best by far out of anyone who's like a contender in a sense. She's coming off of injury last year. You know, she got 5th place, you know, at the world champs. She didn't even run. I don't even think she ran 10-8 last year. Like she didn't even run like her best, you know, that we know her as. If Melissa is going to line up against anyone this year, but you know, in a couple weeks, hypothetically, I think Sha'Carri would give her a good run for her money. Now, obviously, Melissa hasn't opened up. That doesn't mean Sha'Carri would definitely beat Melissa, because we saw a different Melissa last year. Like,
is Kishane supposed to win?
Supposed to win? Probably. Kishane Thompson, you have Kenny B, you have Christian Coleman, Letsile Tebogo, you have Trayvon Bromell, and Akani Simbine. So in some form or fashion, he's beaten all of these guys. Actually, yeah, he's beaten all of these guys last year. Kenny also, I think Kenny might be operating on a different level this year. You know, again, we saw him in Grand Slam track last year. We saw him at USA's, but then on the circuit, you know, he got to Poland, didn't do well against the group. Obviously got to Tokyo, you know, wasn't on the podium. And again, I say like didn't do well because it's like Kenny wants to be in that conversation of Oblique, Noah, Kishane, like, you know, whatever, that 3. He wants to find a way in there. So I think a race like this is motivation to say, I need to prove that I'm deserved to be in here. But I don't know if he can actually do it.
The Shericka conversation is hard because, and I'm not saying this, you know, to make Jamaican fans feel better. I'm saying this because this is what I believe. That I'm trying to understand where Shericka is on the curve. Like, where is she on her career graph? Because at her peak, her peak didn't coincide with an Olympic year. It just didn't.
No, it's tough.
2022 and 2023, that's not what it was. 2024 was supposed to be her time. Didn't work. 2028 is now past her time. Think of Jordan Anthony right now is, whether people want to believe it or not, all the data tells me that he has Noah's talent, but he's coming to you now representing a new generation. And I say that because the trajectory for him, and here's the flip, I think he has Noah's talent slanted towards the 100.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not what Noah was doing in the 2. I think it slants out to the 100. He's probably America's answer to Oblique, if you want to be honest.
Interesting.
In terms of like, for like construction of a sprinter, he feels like he might be our response.
2026, we've kicked off outdoor season, and we've seen a few different results across the board, specifically on the men's sprint side. So we've seen, you know, Kishane Thompson opening up, you know, with 150. We've seen, you know, Christian Coleman, he was out in Australia running a 120. Not a, you know, real race, but, you know, seen that. And a couple different announcements as well. We got Noah, I think he's going to be running in Tokyo and some other, you know, Diamond League races. We got, you know, a big 100 meters in one of the Diamond Leagues with like Kenny and Kishane and Trayvon and all of them. So the outdoor season in 2026 is shaping up to be interesting, to say the least. But I think starting off with Kishane, because we can kind of talk about these different storylines, but Kishane ran this 150 world record, world best. I mean, you know, obviously you can take it as you will, but it's, you know, the fastest ever around a 150 on a curve. I guess starting there, what do you think, or what did you think about Kishane's run, and where do you see this kind of going as we look forward to like this entire, you know, men's sprint, you know, landscape in a sense?
There's 2 ways to evaluate it. So let me lean into both sides. So for the people in the back, let's first start about the whole world record. Because it's not. I mean, the 150 isn't really a thing. Correct me if am I right? It's not really a thing, especially not on a track. Like off a turn, it's not a thing, right?
It's hardly ever run.
So it's basically not a thing. And is that fair? Like, it's close up.
I guess it's as
we've
much
seen
of
150s on straight tracks.
We've seen them on straight. I say it's as much of a thing as like as people want to make it, in a sense, because there's an argument that 300s aren't a thing, but then if Letsile breaks the world record, it's a thing, right? Like, it's
the 300 is more of a thing to me than the 150. Like, as a distance, it makes more sense to me because the indoor 300 is a thing that at the high school level was taken. Like, I've seen I've never seen 150 ever given out with trophies. But I've seen 300 with trophies given and championships and such awarded. So, but the 150 straight track, the comparison note is, okay, Bolt, Tyson Gay, Noah Lyles, Walter Dix even Jermaine Richards. All these people have run 14.7 to 14.3 high or whatever it was. I'm going off memory, but I've looked at the numbers. In the straight track 150. All of them. Kishane ran slower than all of that, but he ran off a turn into a straight. What do we do with that? I don't know. Maybe you put him on the same level as Jermaine Richards with that like 14.7 something. Like more or less about like if we were on a straight track. So for as far as like comparison note, it's like, okay, it's season opener, wonderful. I mean, did it let him beating Makarau? I mean, that tells me, Olympic finalist, world finalist, that tells me NCAA champion even in the 200. That gave me confidence because I expected him to get walked down in the back part, and he didn't. So I think to some degree, I mean, I think that kind of shifts it as far as how I perceive it. But then, because I think that was the competitive side. But at the same time, like, I don't really know what to do with that either because Makarau, this is his first, as far as I can tell, that was his first race as well. And he didn't run indoors at all.
Yeah. This is his first one essentially since
he's transitioning off of a college program to this. So like, I mean, on running, God bless him. But like, I don't know. We have very little data on what that training program is. What does it mean for an athlete? So like, like we're just throwing it up in the air. Like as far as like what, so like he was there, but it wasn't like he was there. So all of that, Kishane, the 150, what do I make of it? He is who we thought he was. He's still fast. And there's a select group of people who actually have the talent to run with him when he's on it. And I will never disrespect that this sport has levels, they're tiers, and he's a tier 1 competitor for the sheer, nature of the performances. Meaning, I don't know if he's a tier 1 competitor as far as like, you go get the guys who are his level of talent, line them up, everybody ready to run, he's going to come out in front. I don't know that. But I do know that if you don't have the requisite level of talent, like the parts going, then you might as well forget it. And I think for Makarau, it's sort of like, well, if I ever see him in 100 next to Kishane now, I ain't never taking him.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you can beat him in 150, you're definitely not beating him in 100. Like,
yeah,
but that's what I mean, because he was the class of that field for like that 150. Everybody else out there was just there to fill lanes.
Yeah. No, yeah, we could say that for sure. I think this for Kishane, I think I take this in tandem with his 60-meter season as well. And this gives me a lot more confidence about what to look forward to outdoors. Now, I'm very, or relatively, I think one of us know that Kishane's second half is his major issue. So obviously, well, I'm going to assume, I'm not his coach, but I'm assuming this was the fact of like, we need to work on, some speed endurance. We need to work on that second half. We kind of saw it in this race where it's like, Makarau, he was kind of like coming a little bit, wasn't able to catch him, but that gave me more confidence on like, okay, Kishane is able to, or he's working on that second half, his like major weakness. Whether people like it or not, he's gotten run down at the major championships by Noah in 2024 and by Oblique in 2025. So, and he's the only one out of all these top athletes who hasn't run a 200. Noah runs 200s. Kenny runs 200s. Even Letsile runs 200. We've seen Trayvon Bromell run indoor 200s. Like, all these athletes and outdoors too. So I think him dipping into this 150 shows that, okay, maybe he's working on this second half of his race to try and like fix this weakness. And in tandem with what he did indoors in the 60, running, 6'4", getting a silver medal, I think this bodes well for what he's, going to do outdoors now as we look forward. Now, there's no global championships. There's no worlds. There's no Olympics. So it's a question mark on what he's actually targeting and like where this will actually go. But at least just based on the little data from 2026 so far, I think Kishane is almost certainly, in my opinion, if we just continue on the trajectory, he's going to be a better athlete than what we saw last year, where in theory he was the best athlete he was, running 9.75. I think he'll be a better athlete. Now, I'm not 100% predicting that he's going to run 9.72, 9.73. Like, I'm not predicting 100%, but to me, he's on the trajectory to be a better athlete and a faster athlete this year. And still more data, but we still need more data, but I think he looks good to start off.
At this point, looking at the full body of work, because, all the races, they add up. So I'll call it a Grand Slam track Kenny B season. And let me clarify what I mean by that. Kenny B is a better sprinter today. He was a better sprinter last year than anything we'd ever seen. But that didn't mean that it made a difference in the podium finish at the one meet everybody was watching. It's the way the sport is set up. Or the lack thereof of setup. So, because he's better. Like, his overall went up. If this was a sport where we had a regular season and how you played during the regular season mattered, his overall is higher from what he did last year than what we've seen in years prior. But there was just what the evidence wasn't there. So, Kishane, I think he's on pace to be better in the season because I paid attention so far. And again, for the people who don't know, I fell in love with this concept of, tracing, the 100-meter title, or called the 100-meter crown based on the pro circuit. And when I looked at it, what I found out is that Kishane Thompson only had one circuit victory that would count as a crown, like taking the crown. In other words, him winning in Hungary before the Olympics in 2024 was a race where he technically took down the guy who at that moment in the circuit was the best on the circuit. And at that moment, it was Akani. Then he loses to Akani to open his season on the Diamond League circuit. Like the following
in 2025,
year. Like that's what happens. And the rest of that season, with all the fields they gave him, including with Noah and like the Salisia race that people paid attention to, like great victory. But guess who wasn't in the race? Oblique. And at that moment, if you were following where things were going, Oblique was the guy. So technically, Oblique beating him at the Worlds actually makes a lot of sense. If you didn't race the guy heading in, like Jamaican trials is something separate. Like Oblique clearly wasn't the same Oblique from Jamaican trials to what you see in London Lausanne. So that's what I mean by like, well, will it make a difference? Well, World Ultimate, it depends on who shows up. That's what I would say. It depends on who shows up. Because, his talent, if you give him the people who are, because here's the better question. What's the cutoff of guys who have the talent to beat him? Akani has to be above the cutoff because he did.
Okay.
So is Akani the line, or is there something below that could catch Kishane on a day?
Well, there'd have to be something. Well, I guess there'd have to be something below that, because I'd look at someone like Letsile as below that to a degree, right? Because, but capable of maybe being in that conversation. Because Letsile, he has a medal from 2023. Like, he has a silver medal and beat everyone. Now, Kishane wasn't, Kishane at that point, but you had Oblique, you had, you had Oblique, you had Zarnell, you had Akani, like you had all these guys. So Letsile is in that conversation. But it's a small group of people. Like, we're really only talking Noah, Oblique, Kishane, Akani, Letsile, and then...
Is Zarnell in the crew? Is he good enough where he could beat Kishane? And I mean beat him on it, like Kishane don't run his best race and Zarnell comes and shows up. Is that enough?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. That's tough. The reason I'm hesitating on Zarnell and why I was very confident about Letsile is because Letsile on the circuit, now not in last year, but he's proven himself. Because I even remember in 2024, he's gone on the circuit, 2024, he went on the circuit after the Olympics and he was beating guys in the 100. I remember him running down Fred Curley, Christian Coleman, in the 100 meters. So Zarnell hasn't done that in the 100 specifically. So that's why I'm a little more hesitant. I just don't have as much data for Zarnell to say that he can do that. Where it's like you said, Akani, he's beaten Kishane and the other guys on the circuit to a degree. It's So yeah, I wouldn't put Zarnell in that conversation.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, again, with the season coming, all I can do is just watch the races that they go. Which means Diamond League. I'm assuming Kishane will be in Hungary again.
Be hungry. I mean, we have
they called them last 2 years.
Maybe
they'll call them again.
I mean, we have what's good about at least Kishane, and what I'm hoping is a lot of these guys do race frequently. We saw Kishane race very frequently last year. Now, it never matched up with like Oblique, who also was racing frequently just at different meets. But I mean, we already have, at least one of the first big meets is going to be this Xiamen Diamond League. We'll see Kishane going up against Kenny, Christian Coleman, Letsile, Akani, Trayvon. Again, we won't get Noah, we won't get Oblique, but like this will at least be another, okay, like he's not scared to go out there. And it'll be another test, at least for me, of like, what does your race look like? Because in theory, this is a first race, and he lost it to Akani last year. Akani is a guy who shows up in these early races, coming off of, he may have South African championship
races this year, though.
That's true.
We've seen zero from him. Am I right? The gun had not gone off in a race that has results. He hasn't on the line yet.
He hasn't. But
as of April 8th, at the time we're recording this video.
Yeah. Because he could run. He could pop up somewhere in South Africa. Like they're having their summer season. So, but at least in a race like this, I'll be looking to see. Okay, is Kishane doing better relative to the field, or are they still running him down? Because that's that'll be the. Or are we going to see like what we saw from like Prefontaine Classic last year, Kishane, where he's beating out everybody, or are we going to see that Shanghai Diamond League or Tokyo World Champs? Like, are we going to see that? Are the things working for him?
After World Indoors, there's no reason for him to be reverting back to that. I get it, like training cycles and stuff, but there's a sharp. I refuse to believe that you just forget how to run because you went outdoors. So like, there's a sharpness that comes from racing over the course of month to month to month. If you just went to World Indoors and showed us what you did, that sharpness is there. And it's going to pay dividends in some form. Now, it remains to be seen what those dividends are. But there will be something that happens as a result if it was properly managed, which it seems that it has been thus far. I mean, like he's been building to where we are, what we're getting this season. So, I mean, hey, that's my take on it. But the other half of it is, okay, let's talk about Xiamen. Let's do it. We're here now.
All right. I mean,
is Kishane supposed to win?
Supposed to win? Probably. I think in theory, on paper, he's supposed to win because I mean, we could literally take that entire field. Again, it's Kishane Thompson, you have Kenny B, you have Christian Coleman, Letsile Tebogo, you have Trayvon Bromell, and Akani Simbine. So in some form or fashion, he's beaten all of these guys. Actually, yeah, he's beaten all of these guys last year. Because even, I was going to say, Christian Coleman and Trayvon Bromell, they didn't make the team, but they ran at Prefontaine, if I'm correct. I think both of them.
They both did, and they were both in Poland and lost both times.
So there you go. So on paper, and then of course Kenny at Worlds, and then Akani at Worlds too. So on
Kenny
paper,
was in Poland too.
Kenny was in Poland. Akani was in Poland. Like Kishane has beaten all these guys most recently. So and again, coming off what we just saw at the World Indoors, and even if I don't know, people may get mad. If you want to do a one-to-one comparison, World Indoors in 2025, Akani got whatever was the bronze medal.
Yeah.
Kishane got the silver medal at World Indoors this year. So, I mean, just one-to-one of World Indoors, Kishane is clearly better than Akani going into the outdoor season off of...
Well, on the clock he is.
Because like, at least on the clock.
Because Akani wasn't even supposed to get that bronze, if you ask me. Like, things went right, and he got it. I mean, because remember, there were 2 injuries in that final. From guys who looked better than him till the final.
That's true. I always say part of being a professional,
with 2 injuries.
Part of being a professional is, and it's unfortunate, but like you got to show up when it counts. Like the injuries are.
He showed up. I'm just saying, but keep in mind, if we're going with that logic, Jeremiah Azu, his winning time from last year to what he did this year, he ran faster this year in the indoor final and still got no medal. Yeah. It was a different race.
It's very different.
And it was different because the people were different. It wasn't different because they all decided to put on special shoes. It wasn't like they all had no Nike Boost and then put the little bubble in the shoes. Like, Like the spikes I was running with in college ain't got no bubble on them. I talked to people, I was like, hey, if this, would I be at a disadvantage now? They'd be like, yes, you would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You would be at a disadvantage. You might have to go get some new shoes. And get
Yeah,
used to the whole new thing. So if that's true, what I'm saying is you're right. There are levels to this. I think I was going to agree. Kishane is supposed to win, but I'm saying it for several other reasons where, I mean, Oblique's not in the field, so the guy's not here. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even Noah's not here if we just want to add extra sauce on it. But Kenny, Christian Coleman, Letsile ran something. Akani.
Oh, yeah.
All of these guys have not run a race.
Outdoors at least, right? Because Trayvon was indoors.
Coleman and Akani.
Kenny ran the 4x1. Kenny ran the 4x1 at Miramar. I mean, that I don't know how to.
The Texas high school all-stars race.
So
they were supposed to. I'm not even counting that as a victory.
I know.
Barely beat some high school boys and got walked. So I mean, like, but and then Trayvon has run indoors.
He ran indoors, and then I guess Coleman. I don't know how you could take that running the grass race in Australia. You know, that's.
Are we counting? I'm not counting that.
I mean, I'm not technically counting it.
I would have only counted the grass race for Coleman if he had. I won't even say win. He had to like get dangerously close to winning in that final, which he did not. So as a result, like at that point, I just have to revert back to he wasn't really trying. I'm gonna tell you how I felt. Like this isn't even the conversation. I'm gonna tell you how I felt. Let me tell you how I felt when I saw because I was paying attention. I was up in the States. I'm talking late night. I'm talking like 1, 2 in the morning, checking results on Christian Coleman running on some grass field in Australia. And when I'm checking these results. And I'm refreshing because I'm like, okay, the race about to go, and all the other heats was up except for his heat. Refresh. Eventually, I said, forget it, and went to go play NCAA football while I wait. So I hit refresh and finally come back and find out he ain't make the final. And I was like, first, I think he's not in the final. I'm like, okay. Then I go back to the heat. He ain't first, second, third, because he had to be first in that semifinal to get to the final. So he wasn't second, he wasn't third, he wasn't fourth. I'm like, wait, so what happened? I was like, did he get hurt? I was about to panic. I was like, oh, man. And then I finally realized, like, I eventually got to see footage. Like, it looked like he had a decent enough start and then just didn't make a move.
Yeah.
Like, he just didn't surge from that point on. Now, was he trying? I don't know. But I'm going to say this much. I'm not counting it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say he basically did nothing. For the purposes of competition, there's been nothing. So all those words still get me back to who's going to beat Kishane realistically if they're coming in unsharp? Not race sharp. I mean, Trayvon is the best bet you got. And looking by what happened at World Indoor, where Trayvon, the first half of his race does it, it's the second half where things get a little rickety. Kishane, we don't say that about Kishane. What we're saying is we feel like the pressure of the moment and the press to the line sometimes gets him. But in that moment, the difference between him getting silver and bronze was him handling the back half better.
Yeah.
So I have no reason, taking all emotion out of it, I have no reason to say Trayvon's supposed to win. I'd love it if he does. That's not the point. I have no reason to say it. So yeah, Kishane is supposed to win in Xiamen.
Yeah. He's the guy right now. I think Trayvon and probably Kenny are the guys who I would say are the most likely contenders to be able to take down a Kishane at this moment. Because, all the things we said for Trayvon, like at least he's in theory the sharpest coming off of, just indoors, even though this is going to be, in May. So they might probably open up at some point before then, but Trayvon, but then Kenny also, I think Kenny might be operating on a different level this year. And I'm not saying like he's going to be drastically better, but I think his mindset of after making the Olympic final in 2024, getting, 7th place in that race, making the world final last year, getting 4th place, and he ran 9.7 at USA's earlier this year. I think his mindset is really like, okay, if I really want to be in this 100-meter group, like, I can't just keep being in the conversation and then not actually, medaling or finishing amongst the guys. I have to really prove myself across the board. Because, again, we saw him in Grand Slam track last year. We saw him at USA's, but then on the circuit, he got to Poland, didn't do well against the group. Obviously, got to Tokyo, wasn't on the podium. And again, I say like didn't do well because it's like Kenny wants to be in that conversation of Oblique, Noah, Kishane, like whatever that three. He wants to find a way in there. So I think a race like this is motivation to say I need to prove that I'm deserved to be in here. But I don't know if he can actually do it.
A better way. The thing about Kenny, which is awkward, is that he beat Oblique twice to open the GST season. But okay, I'm going to say some of what I understand to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I'm coming from the American context. Our system is different. The Jamaican system, as I understand it, because that's not where I'm from. And you got to understand, track means something very different over here. Very different. It's same sport, like when you converge, but it's not the same in terms of how they approach it, treat it, train it, everything. Like there's similarities, but a lot of deviation. So the Jamaican system, as I get it, like they don't hit their final form, almost like going Super Saiyan, until later on in the year. So Oblique early and Oblique late ain't the same Oblique.
No.
They were two different guys. Because I thought the GST guy was Oblique. I was like, if this is him, I ain't worried. And then you get like the second form, and I was like, oh, this is not the same guy. I don't think Kenny changed, is what I'm trying to say. I think Kenny was who he was all the way through. And what we saw in Grand Slam track was just fields that weren't worthy of him, meaning, for lack of a better term, non-Super Saiyan Oblique. It's not better than that version of Kenny. You know what I'm saying? But if you take that off the grid, because he clearly leveled up in multiple ways, the clock told us, and the competition fields told us, Noah wasn't there. And Kishane wasn't there. And those are the guys who beat him later. So, forget the 200, we're taking that out the conversation. I'm saying, like, he raced both Noah and Kishane in Poland and was behind them. Matter of fact, he got walked by Noah. Because, like, Noah was past him. Yeah. To get to second. So the point being, like, that's what he was. What he is the guy behind Kishane. So if you're asking me to pick second, like, it's supposed to be him. Like, Kishane's the most rock-solid sprinter we have on the circuit. I keep saying that. And if I was trying to build a championship team in a sport where, like, scoring points mattered, I would love him because I feel like I'm getting 8 points.
You get it all around.
I'm not getting 10. But I'm getting 6 or 8 points every time I throw him out there. I might get 10, but I'm not banking on it. But I need to win. And to win, I need points consistently, not just hot and cold, hot and cold.
Yeah, I can hear that. I can see that.
So, like, what do we do with that? Christian Coleman is the guy who probably needs this win more than anybody else.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess Christian is interesting because, I don't know if he needs this win, but I think he needs to set himself up well to have a consistent season where he is in that conversation. Because I think arguably more than anyone else, maybe more than anyone else, especially coming from like the level he was at, because you're talking about someone who was a world champion. He was running 9.7 before this whole generation of guys, running 9.7s. He beat Usain Bolt, all that stuff. Like, he is kind of losing that, being part of the conversation at all to a degree. Now, not like completely like, okay, he's like falling off, but it's the idea that there is an aspect of like, he hasn't, been able to either make teams or get on the podiums, and all those kind of things are coming into play where Christian needs to maintain his ability to be in the conversation. Because he needs momentum. He even won the Diamond League last year, right? But I don't think that really got
Blake
people
won
going.
It the year before, so that's not an accomplishment.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's not like, okay, I'm back in the conversation.
Not right now. It's not an accomplishment.
Yeah. So he needs to, like, I think this entire year for Christian is actually probably very important. He needs to be in that conversation to give almost the community the idea that, okay, Christian still deserves to be here. And this isn't like disparage in any way. Like, I believe and feel like Christian deserves to be here. But like, if the community and the world is like, oh yeah, Christian, like, he won that gold medal, right? But not like, oh, okay, he is a threat. Then
Christian Coleman's dominance has become something that you would get in like Trivial Pursuit. Like, it's now a Trivial Pursuit question that you get. Because it's been long enough, it's not relevant anymore.
It's tough.
And that's where, and again, he's probably one of, like, if you had asked me over the last decade, he was one of my favorite sprinters for many reasons. And I still enjoy watching him run. I'm in his corner, but there's a difference between fandom and, because people think I'm biased. You can say that if it makes you feel better. Everybody got a bias. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I say a lot of stuff on my takes that go against my heart and are focusing on what my head is telling me. My head is telling me that Christian Coleman was an Avenger, meaning like the guys who were like America's champions, the guys who went and got medals on the world stage, and you had to go through us if you wanted anything. He went from that. Well, I'm not going to demote him all the way to the chase pack, but I'm gonna say if he ain't an Avenger no more, he with the Justice League or something. Like it's not the same. Them movies don't hit the same. They don't. Like the Justice League, the guys who ain't, they're not the Avengers. Am I right?
I mean, it's an analogy for sure.
It's the only way that I can put it in language. So yes, winning this race to me, which I mean, we're just throwing it at the wall. Because Letsile, I've concluded that the circuit means nothing to that man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've come to that thought. So I don't even. If he just in a race, it's like, oh, Letsile is here.
Yeah.
Because when they got medals on the line, I feel like okay, that's the only races that he cares about.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he cares that much, and he's using the other races strategically to prepare him.
Yeah,
but I don't think he has any competitive stock or stake in these races.
Yeah, that's probably fair. That's
how I would put it. So like, I'm not even counting him. He's just there, and then whatever he does is the bonus. But Christian Coleman, I think he actually does want to win things. And that's what I'm saying. The confidence level of like, I'm starting a season well, to be able to carry that momentum forward would be huge for him, especially considering didn't run indoors. So you don't have like that success to kind of roll you in. Because like, that high of winning is not where he's coming from. I mean, and Australia didn't help that.
That's the thing.
Like that didn't help. Like, so I'm gonna tell you what that, I keep going back. Watching the footage, you know what it reminded me of? They did a show back. I did a video a long time ago, maybe over a year ago now, talking about like gimmicks in track and field. Just back when people were like talking about how like we can try to make the sport more exciting. And I'm like, that crap don't work. And I'm gonna tell you how. We tried it. Y'all remember Shaq versus?
Yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal pulled up Deshaun Jackson and some other NFL players. Got Tyson Gay and and people like that. And it was supposed to be Shaq versus Tyson Gay. And I'll be honest, after watching that, because I remember watching that on cable, like watching it live. And then watching the clips back when I was preparing for the video. It was so disappointing because Tyson Gay is a short sprinter who goes into a space with Shaquille O'Neal, and it's obviously supposed to be his domain that Shaq is invited into, and it's an opportunity for him to showcase this is what we do here. It was pedestrian to the point where if I was a non-track person, I would not leave with any level of impression that was positive towards Tyson Gay or the sport. It just felt like a guy without there running. That's what Christian Coleman looked like on that grass field in Australia. It looked like he came into a space that was a casual space. And when he left, I was not left with any positive impression of Christian Coleman and or what he does for the sport. And we know what he's capable of. And we know what Tyson Gay is capable of because that was the comparison note. That's why I'm like, coming off of that, like, I want to see something just as a fan. I want to see something like, I mean, again, Akani, that's another toss up. I know he likes to win races on the circuit, and he's pretty good at it. So I wouldn't be, he'd be the sleeper pick of like somebody who might just have special sauce. But if Kishane is ready to run, I'd say, I mean, let's ask this question. Off of that 150, and let's go here. How fast do you think he can run in Xiamen at this time of the year? Because I don't think those are fast meets.
Well, I mean, he could probably run sub 10. I think Akani beat him running. I think they both ran sub 10 last year in
999, 998, or 999, 10 flat, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So I mean, he could probably run sub 10. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to hit that here. And then, everyone else is, if he runs 9.9, maybe everyone else is at 10 flat and 10.01 or whatever. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think like anyone's dropping 9.8s in May. I mean, who knows? Granted, I have no idea, but yeah, I think Kishane could hit, a 9.9 or any. I think, same thing with like Trayvon or whatever. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 9.9 on the clock, when they do run. But
yeah, I don't think 9.8 is coming. That's what I was on the way to. I
yeah,
think this is a
yeah,
9.9 race for the win.
yeah, most
992,
likely.
993. I mean, granted, we got, Busang, Colin, Kevin Shippey running,
It's true.
989s and Max
That's
Diamond's
true.
dropping 991s or whatever that was,
That's
990.
true.
So, I mean, who knows? Maybe the shoes is better than we thought.
That could be. That could be. I mean, well, so even that aside, so that's May 23rd. Before that, what's interesting is Noah Lyles. He'll be. I don't know if it's his opener. He may run a race before, but he's going to be running in Tokyo 100 on May 17th, and then that's going to set off a string of like performances throughout the year. He'll be running some Diamond Leagues. I guess now this is a question in terms of like what should we expect from Noah as we go throughout the year. I'm sure we'll see him match up against, a bunch of these guys at random different meets, but he's coming off a bronze medal in the 100 last year. Obviously still the Olympic champion from 2024, but I don't know. I wonder what we should expect from him this year in 2025. Again, no Worlds or Olympics, but Noah is one who shows up when there's a race on the line. Like it or not, whether he wins it or maybe he doesn't, but he shows up. Like he races and he competes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think? Should we expect from him, as we go throughout the year?
Well, who's going to be in that field? Do we have any knowledge at all about who's running in Tokyo with him?
I think I can cross check, but I don't think it's anybody notable. Like Oblique is not going to be there. Obviously, these other guys are not going to be there because they're going to be in, well, I guess it's possible. This is on May 17th, and then the Shanghai Diamond League is
The
on May
Sealet might show up.
23rd. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He just
Granted,
be pulling up.
that's true. He did get in that race that Kevin Shippey ran, like Letsile was supposed to run, but he got injured. He like the block slipped and he got injured, had to be taken off. So I don't know what his health is as of right now, but
Yeah.
he
He's
could.
probably like injured. You know what I mean? Like not like injured, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to run.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Okay, so I just cross checked. So I don't know about in the 100. We don't know who's in the 100 yet, but Jordan Anthony, who we can kind of talk about in a few, he'll be running the 200 in Tokyo, and the Courtney Lindsay will also be in the 200. So, but nobody Jerome Blake is going to be in the 100, but none of the like.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a Bermuda Grand Prix rematch.
So
for the people in the back, 2022, I think it was. That 2021, 2022, something like that.
Yes, I think 2022. Yeah, I think so.
Jerome Blake, that's the only time I recognized that man before I pinned him to the Canadian relay. Before then, I just happened to be like, there was this one race where you had Noah and Arian Knighton and all them out there,
yep.
but he got the victory. And it wasn't even like a fast time. He just won. And it was like, I was like, oh, okay, this is a thing.
I know.
But hey, okay, so bringing it back. Jerome Blake is actually much better than people give him credit for. Last year,
good
he had
season
a
last
pretty good
year.
season. I mean, granted, we're not a good Worlds.
As
Individually, not a good Worlds. I mean, still another, medal to the chest in the relays. But for what he was doing on the circuit, I wouldn't have been shocked if he had gotten that last final spot.
Yeah,
but I think it's because we had, Gift and all of them who kind of snuck up in there.
Yeah, Ajayi
That's where those
and
spots
too.
went to. So for that reason, I'll say Noah. Right now, my expectation today, honestly, I think he's just gonna have fun this year. He'll win some races. I think he's gonna put himself out there in some spots where he could get got. But at the same time, I think he's honestly just this is weird. I've never said this before. It's almost like he's gathering data on the way to LA 2028. I feel like he's still in data collection mode.
Interesting.
So that means like these races he's running, it's less about whether I win them and more about can I continue to experiment with where my body is and what it's going to take. Because like the more he knows about what is going on around him, the more him and his team can like, okay, so this is what we need. How I put it, it's almost like Noah's one of the few basketball players. He's one of the few sprinters who reminds me of a basketball player who is flipping the script of how you compete, where normally what's happening when an offensive player gets the ball is they are looking up what the defense gives them and responding. However, there's a small group of basketball players, Kyrie Irving is one of them at the point guard position, who plays offense like defense. Instead of what are you going to do and then how I respond, like he almost like flips it where it's like, I don't really care let me just see what you do, but it's sort of like, whatever you give me, I'm taking it. And that's hard to explain because normally the defender is trying to push you somewhere, and he's like, wherever you send me, I'm about to get you anyway. And it's like pick which way you want it. That's what I mean by data collection. Because Noah's going to take some L's on the way to gathering the data, which is why like his championship victories have not come in the 100, have not come with him winning everything. I don't think he's that guy in the 100. I just think he's the deadliest guy we have in the 100 because he catches you slipping. So, I mean, if that field doesn't have anybody of special note, then he'll probably win it, yeah. If that field had an Oblique, if it had a Kishane, history tells me, he might not win. I mean, and I might not win, probably not. I wouldn't take him. Because the history has not said that he wins those races on the circuit last year. And even in 2024, I mean, let's go back. Like, I mean, aside from beating Kenny B, which, I mean, he's been doing that for however long. I mean, and I'm talking about hundreds. Like, who did he beat in 2024 on the circuit in the 100?
Well,
Letsile in Paris?
In Paris, he ran, I think he ran the London Diamond League, actually.
Oh, that was London, okay, because he was wearing the yellow kit, right?
Yeah, he beat Letsile, and I think Akani was in that race too.
Okay.
But then earlier in the year, and this is before USA's, this was like early June, like he lost to Oblique. That was down in Jamaica. That was 2024. Yeah. So, I mean, it's mixed. It's mixed. Yeah, it is very mixed. And then, last year, because Noah is the 200, he's like so talented there, but the 100, he doesn't have that kind of buffer. So, you get him going to whatever it is, Monaco and, Zurich and beats Letsile. But like when you're racing a Kishane or an Oblique, like Oblique who's on a tear in 100, you can't make up that kind of ground. So that's why we see him end up getting bronze to both of them at Tokyo, but then he wins the 200. Like those are really, for Noah, those are like almost different events to a degree.
Here's the question to ask then, I really don't have an answer. What do you think his end game is for this season?
I don't know. I don't have obviously I don't have a clear answer, because I do think it is like this season is just about having fun. We'll probably see him do like some various different things, but I do think this season, whether he's thinking about it or not, might be very important to parse himself out for the 100 meters, because to like really assert himself back as, okay, can I really be that guy to beat in the 100 meters, right? Because 2023, 2024, he wins back-to-back gold medals. And then obviously he gets injured last year, but even without the injury, like Oblique stepped up, and, Kishane, at least on the clock, like he stepped up. If he doesn't do what he needs to do in the 100 this year, then going into 2027, I don't know if I would feel confident about picking Noah to really be in gold medal conversation. Now, obviously he's capable of it, but if I see him on the circuit and let's say he races Kishane and Oblique a bunch of times, and maybe he has some close races, but let's say that he just never wins any of those races, I'm not going to have confidence that going into 2027, you're going to then beat them, because they're younger, they're figuring things out. So I think this year for Noah possibly should be, okay, can I make sure I reassert myself in the 100 and really put myself in the conversation so people don't forget that, like, I've won gold medals.
Here's a good point that you just brought up, so I'm going to follow that up with a different question. Do you remember his victory on the Diamond League against Lamont Marcel Jacobs back in 2023?
Yeah, that was in Paris, the Diamond League. Yeah.
So, I guess, because, well, let me have a follow-up and just, is Lamont even running anymore? I'm asking.
Well, I mean,
like, is he even running?
I mean, he's still running. He's training. He just got injured, and he got injured last year, so he couldn't do well in Tokyo. I think he made the semifinals, but like He's still training and he's still running. Like,
okay, that's the social media tells us he's still running.
Yeah. He's still like, he posts pretty frequent, just saying,
Okay,
training
because
and
I
all
was
that
about to
stuff.
say, like, it felt like that was the beginning of the end of his career.
Nah.
Like it felt like. I mean,
It's just
like,
really
Sprint
injuries.
hyped it up or whatever. But like the way they played the plot. But my point is that Victor, at that time he was the Olympic gold medalist. So I would agree that there is something to, having those moments that show you are capable of winning. Like there needs to be a warning shot. Noah always gave us warning shots, even if he just wasn't a headbanger. But again, you have to understand, for the people in the back, how long is his undefeated streak now, not including Olympic finals, in the 200? It goes back to 2019, right?
2019,
That
Diamond
means
League,
every 200 he has run that has been, a final race. I mean, maybe he had a heat somewhere where he technically wasn't first, but still won the final. And that's rare, but it might have happened. In general, if we're not counting these Olympic glitches, which are huge glitches because that's the only time the world is watching, like the world, the athletic world. But outside of that, the man has been bulletproof in the 200. So compare that to the 100, where I don't see him anywhere near the same.
No.
In the 100. These are two different athletes. I think Noah would be potential. He might have a shot at the world record if we did like the 50 to 150, like time them split through. He'd have a shot at the world record from 50 to 150.
Maybe,
I think that's fair.
maybe. I don't know.
At his peak, that 1930 whatever season he had, that season, if you timed him from 50 to 150,
he wasn't going to beat a Bolt Bolt in his 1919. Bolt ran like 9 seconds on the curve and then going into the straight. Like he wasn't going to beat a Bolt
because he was a 10th off of him in total. So the question is, where did that 10th come from? Did it come from that meal ticket zone? I'm assuming that part of it came at the end, and even a small amount came in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
it's just straight math. I mean, somebody could get out a calculator and start tracking splits for us.
He'd be up there, but like Bolt, and then even Johan's. I mean, someone will have the splits, but like even Johan's 1926, where he got a terrible start, and then that literally that 50 to 100 was like crazy, or 50 to 150 for Johan was like crazy. But Noah would be up there. Like he obviously just like his 200, he'd be one of the best in terms of the split there.
So because I'm saying that's why I'm like, this year it feels like it's data collection more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's the races are going to happen, and he's going to try. He's going to show up and bring the presence and the flair, and I mean, maybe a pure athletics belt even. But I mean, all that's going to happen. I just don't know what stock to put in. That's why I say, well, what's the end game? Because I feel like everybody has, like Jordan Anthony, for example, World Ultimate calls, he's going.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's not saying no.
Of course.
Noah Lyles might be busy.
Yeah, Noah actually has already said, I don't even know if I'm going to go to World Ultimate. Like, he literally has already said, publicly, I don't know if it's worth it. But Noah Lyles and Jordan Anthony are in two very different places.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, hey, the Noah Lyles conversation it's a hard one to even ride it out. And that's why I have to blend it towards now looking at his, I guess, new training partner, Jordan Anthony, and thinking about, well, because I think of Jordan Anthony right now is, whether people want to believe it or not, all the data tells me that he has Noah's talent, but he's coming to you now representing a new generation. And I say that because the trajectory for him, and here's the flip, I think he has Noah's talent slanted towards the 100.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not what Noah was doing in the 2. I think it slants out to the 100. He's probably America's answer to Oblique, if you want to be honest.
Interesting.
In terms of for construction of a sprinter, he feels like he might be our response. Because Noah and Oblique are two different sprinters, but they're going to the same line. I think Jordan Anthony and Oblique have a very similar plan to get to that line. Like when executed at perfection, it'll look very similar. And it might almost look stride for stride, depending on what race you're getting. If Jordan Anthony executes. So here's the question then. coming off of World Indoors, going into outdoors, him saying that track and field is soft. Let's put that in there. Because he's said it multiple times, and I believe he reiterated it with the Citius Mag interview down at Florida Relays.
Florida Relays, yeah.
So, I mean, what do we see for him, given this landscape with world records off of turns for Kishane and, Oblique got the 100-meter crown and Noah out here doing data collection. So, I mean, what do we expect? I mean, where is he? Is he with the Justice League? Is he ready to join the Avengers? Is he like, Spider-Man Homecoming on the way to, like joining the Avengers after that? Like what's about to happen?
No, yeah. He's okay. So for me right now with Jordan, I think in combination of him winning the 60 and then also the way that, he's speaking, saying track and field is soft, immediately after the 60 meters, I'm still hesitant. Like I can't say, okay, Oblique, Kishane, Noah, and Jordan is there. Like I can't put him there yet because he hasn't actually been at a 100-meter final and won a medal or whatever. So, but he's coming. Like he is very much coming. And I think it's a combination of his talent and the fact that like I think you've said it, like he really has an attitude where like, I don't care. Like I really don't care. I'm out here and I'm just going to show y'all, track and field, like cool. But like, yeah, like I come from the football realm and like this is nothing to me. He's already taken one step to prove that because sure, it's a 60, but you don't beat out a Trayvon Bromell who looked like the best he's ever looked in the 60 this year. You don't beat him out multiple times throughout the season without being, one of the best guys. You don't beat out Kishane Thompson, who also looked, crazy good in the 60. You don't beat out an entire field without being someone who has a mentality of like, I don't care. I'm just going out there and I'm just showcasing my talent. So I do like that. And I will say, I'm getting a vibe from Jordan Anthony, like talent-wise, that I felt when Trayvon was coming up in like 2015. Because to me, Trayvon, there was part of me that believed Trayvon was the guy who was going to break the American record in the 100. I really feel like he had both the talent, the execution. Like I feel like he had everything, and as he started to develop. Now injuries kind of set him back, and it's a whole hypothetical. And Trayvon is obviously like he had a really good indoor season. But I'm looking at Jordan Anthony now as like he could be on that trajectory where he is that guy who could run some crazy fast times. Again, I'm not 100% predicting he's going to break the American record, but he has that talent and that attitude where it's like, yeah, I'm going to run 9.73 by the end of this year. I'm going to run. I mean, I'm not predicting anyone to run 9.69 or anything like that, but he just has that attitude and the talent that eventually he'll get to that point. So far, I like where he's at. And just, again, coming off of the conversation with Noah, we might see Jordan like drastically surpass Noah this year because Jordan is probably going to take this year seriously. Oh, Rome Diamond League is calling. Oh, World's, Ultimate Champs or Zurich. Like, I'm going. Like, why not? So,
I think he's having so much, like, how put it? He's in this very deadly space for everybody else, but it also is, when you bring up Trayvon, again, I can't speak for him on a personal level as far as like what that part of his career was like. But when you're young, the reason why you don't care is because you don't even know that you're supposed to. Like you're in moments and you don't even realize how big these moments are. It's like a young playoff team, like young players, and they're talking about what they're gonna do next year, not realizing y'all could get traded. Memphis Grizzlies. Like that's what happened. They were talking about next season. Now 2 seasons from now, where we gonna be? You about to be in Orlando. That's where you gonna be. You got to be in Phoenix.
You about to be thrown all over the country.
Like y'all thought y'all were gonna be coming back. So like that's what and Draymond Green said it about that team. He was like, these guys are so young, they don't even know that the moment they in is big.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't even know to be scared of the moment. That's what happens when you're that young. That's why I say you have no chill button.
Mm-hmm.
But it works to your advantage. Noah Lyles, what happens when your chill button never gets turned off. That's actually what it looks like. That's why he behaved the way he does. I mean, above all else. But it's like he had that no chill button, and then like, because it never got switched to the off position where something happened that made him have to reevaluate his status as a sprinter and how he approached the game, he continued to improve but go down a path.
Yeah.
And that path has led him to where he is now. Because where was the moment where something happened to tell him you're not good enough? I can't tell you a moment where he really believed he wasn't good enough. And that was evident in what we were getting in results. Like, I mean, this year is interesting to kind of see where they go. But he's been in the game long enough where now he kind of has probably enough confidence. Jordan Anthony, he's right now at that zone where, okay, let's play this game. Let's play this game. It's going to be fun. So the question is Jordan Anthony or, okay? So it's him versus who you taking in the 100. Right now, you got to make a decision. Okay, Jordan Anthony, Letsile. Who you taking if they had to race tomorrow?
No, I'm taking Jordan. Definitely Jordan.
All right. Hey, we're moving on up. All right. Jordan Anthony, Darnell Hughes.
No, yeah,
got to race tomorrow.
I'm taking Jordan. Yeah,
right.
real quick.
Jordan Anthony, Christian Coleman. They got to race tomorrow.
Whew. Now it gets interesting, but like I'm taking Jordan, especially after what we saw. Christian Coleman is a GOAT of the 60, but what we saw from Jordan so far, and now going in, I got to take Jordan.
Okay, so Jordan Anthony, Akani, who you taking? They got to race tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm taking Jordan. I think it's getting a little closer. It's getting a little closer because Akani's one of those guys. You know, again, these early season races, but I think Jordan got it.
This feels redundant, but I'm gonna ask again. Jordan Anthony, Trayvon, they're racing tomorrow.
I'm gonna be honest. This is actually very close for me, very close. But I have to go. I think I have to go Jordan because of what we saw indoors. But honestly, this one is very, very close. Because again, Trayvon
he lost to him twice indoors. Keep that in mind. Like Trayvon
lost three times technically because they ran at Tyson and
right.
He beat him at Tyson. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah.
3 races in a row.
Yeah.
Like you at that point when you're the competitor, you got to tell yourself you can.
Yeah.
Like you have to talk yourself into believing you can win because this is 3 times now. I done got on this line.
I know.
And the result been the same thing. Okay, so let's keep on going. In the 100, Jordan Anthony, Kenny B.
This one I'm not sure. I actually think I might take Kenny. I think I might take Kenny on this. Not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I think I might take Kenny on this. If we're talking like, all right, they just got to race tomorrow, next week. Like, I think Kenny. This is where the line starts to be like,
okay,
you know, not sure.
But see what you're saying, where we're at because there's no need to go any further.
Yeah, because everyone else is.
Once we reach that line, what it found is Jordan to us. And I've said this before we got to this point. I remember just having this conversation on like maybe an episode or 2 ago.
Yeah,
he's in between the chase pack and the guys. There's the guys, and then there's the pack. He's somewhere in between the two. To the point where it feels like the pack knows he's not with them no more already. Like, they want to believe he's with them. They want to believe he's beatable. They just don't have any real evidence to believe it.
Yeah.
Because he's this ghost they haven't really... What he did at USA last year, I almost feel like you just got to toss that out. Because I guess at that point, he just showed up not ready. And by not ready, I mean probably physically banged up or whatever. And he just probably just said, hey, we're just going to go. It's kind of like, I mean, just for people who wouldn't know, when Kalen Walker went to the Olympic trials, he wasn't ready. He was hurt. But he was like, I'm not going to not run at the Olympic trials.
Yeah.
As a college athlete, like, I'm going to go. And he made the semifinals because technically everybody does because they don't have that many people on the starting line. But the point is, like, almost everybody. But, you know, it's not as big an accomplishment as it should be.
Yeah.
But that said, like, he wasn't really himself while there. I think this was a version of that when Jordan came. Because there's no way he went from looking like that to looking like this.
Yeah.
It's just that those first races he ran indoors, like those when he was getting his feet wet with Akeem Blake, those races didn't look like this. But then we saw Akeem at World Indoors not make the final. Which is why it's like you have to toss that out and say those races, that's not the real story. Yeah, so Jordan's in a special place. I mean, he could show us something that he Basically, what we're trying to see is, does he belong with the pack?
Yeah.
Because if he does belong with the leaders, like that crew, it just got real near impossible to make Team USA now in the 100. Because that would give you Noah. If Jordan can look like and act like Noah and Kenny B have been over the last 2 years, if he can turn that on,
then you essentially just turned the 100 into what the 200 was with, like, when we had like Noah, Kenny, and Arion. Like that was it, right? Like you set that.
Shout out to all the little kid phenoms and all the names of the kids who think they the next. All y'all finna just be showing up for years, running behind. Somebody gonna merge when Noah and Kenny clear out, but they ain't leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
Y'all better get your plans right for 2032. Get you a good degree while you at it.
Well,
it would be a while.
It could be. But I guess now, what would this season have to look like for Jordan to give an indication that, like, he's ready for next year? Does that mean on the circuit, he races these guys and he finishes amongst them, whether it's like top 3, versus, Kishane and Kenny, or is it like, he's doing these races and he, maybe loses some races to Trayvon or Christian Coleman, or is it like specific times? Like, because again, there's no Worlds or Olympics yet. And for me, though, I could see him run very well in the circuit, but I'll still have an issue putting him like, okay, he's ready for gold, silver, or bronze until like he does that, right? Like I can't put him in that conversation, or maybe bronze, but like, the top medals, like, well, actually, no, gold, silver, bronze. If I'm talking Oblique Kishane and Noah, to put him above any of them, I need to see him actually do it. That's.
But I hear what you're saying, so I'll turn that back on you. What if he goes to races Grand Prix and beats Oblique? Let's just play this game. Then what?
I mean, that it'd be a good run, and I think it'd give me more confidence building, but Oblique in a one-off is not Oblique at a championship, at least for now. Like that,
I mean, we could, if we were having this conversation 365 days ago.
That's true.
Oblique in a one-off would have been a whole lot more than Oblique in a championship. So let's not revise history.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough because Oblique, to me, Oblique with his gold medal, and obviously I've been critical of Oblique not getting on the podium, but like, you don't just jump from nothing to a gold medal without having showcased like some true talent in a sense. Because even like you said, entering the top of at the top of 2025, Oblique wasn't looking like the Oblique we saw in the second half. So that's where I'm like, he can beat Oblique, and that would give me more confidence of like, okay, you can hang with these guys, but that doesn't tell me you're going to beat Oblique, Kishane, or Noah at Worlds.
To me, I hear what you're saying, but for the way that I'm viewing the sport, or not, I'm going to say the way I choose to view the sport, I believe that there's evidence that you will become something before you do. And the history tells me that, to go back to the 100-meter crown argument, like, Oblique has the crown right now. So until somebody takes it from him, and I'm talking about his pro circuit success, he took it in London, he defended it in Lausanne. He's the guy. The world is something separate, and he had it there too, but that's the next argument. There's a correlation between being the guy on the circuit and then something that shows up. Noah won the crown all the way back in like 2018, 2019 in the 100, even though he didn't take it seriously through to Worlds till 2023. So the thing is, there's correlation where I don't think we've seen a world champion. I don't think we've seen one, except for, I don't think we've seen one who didn't at some point take the crown before. You have to take it on the circuit at some point. And I don't just mean beat a guy who had a crown at some other point. I mean, there has to be a guy who at that moment is walking around with, if you follow the history, I'm the guy who's right now took out the guy. So if he does that this year, to me, I will now say, you belong getting medals. Because that's what the history tells us. Fred Curley, he did it. He took out the guy before he started getting medals. You see what I'm saying? Like, it happened. Like if we go through the names, Oblique did it, and he was doing it a few years before he actually got that gold.
But aren't there some guys who also got the crown, but like didn't get medals? Like Aaron Brown is on that list as well, right? Like
there's some guys who took it for a moment. That's true. But what I'm saying is, but he's also been, using Aaron Brown as an example. He was the only guy on that Canadian relay in 2022 to make the 100 or 200 meter final.
Made both of them, yeah.
So, like, he made double finalists at Worlds. That's an accomplishment. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those weird stats, but it's one that is meaningful when you look back at the history books and be like, well, that says a lot about your how complete you were as a sprinter.
Yeah.
So, the point being that you're right, you could go dig and find a Christophe Lemaitre or somebody if you wanted to. But the point is, and he had a medal in the
200 at least.
Yeah. So 200 is different. Yeah, you're right. But in general, I'm saying that would be an accomplishment that this year could happen. I would have said winning the Diamond League final, but I don't think that means anything because everybody doesn't agree that it means something. So we don't know who's coming to that field.
Yeah. That's a whole different
and
whole
in what
thing.
mind state they're coming. That's the next part.
Exactly. And again, I think, like I said, I started this off saying I have that feeling that Jordan, the same feeling I had with Trayvon in 2015, where it's like, I feel like he could be the guy to get to that American record one day. But I think that we're just a current landscape that we're in with the 100. I feel like there's a core group that is going to be very hard to take down with Oblique, Kishane, and as much as Noah isn't the fastest, we know that he shows up. And obviously, as years go on, it's going to get tougher and tougher. But there's a core group that's going to be very hard to take down at a global championships. That's where, as much as people want to, clown on Kishane for getting silvers, he's found a way to be consistent.
Hey,
I'm not betting on three people to beat him.
Is still a superhero. Just to clarify, he's still in the movie.
Listen, that's the thing. And same thing with Noah. Noah was injured last year. He found a way to get on the podium. And Oblique, to a degree, I look at Oblique now where it's Noah coming into 2023, he got the gold medal and he kind of figured it out. And he's been on the podium ever since. I think Oblique might be in that realm where I'm not betting on three guys to beat him on the podium. So it's going to be very hard to take down that core. But if I'm looking at this landscape, we just went through it. Jordan or Kenny seem to be the two guys that I would bet on to actually take them down. Obviously, anything can happen, but I need to see it first before I'm Jordan, 100%. I can bank on it. But he has talent. He has crazy talent.
I'm with you. Well, hey, before we close, I gotta ask then, when it comes to Oblique on the circuit, who can beat him? Because he's holding the crown right now. So, if there was a guy to run the table, and again, for the people in the back who don't know, it has happened in the past where, again, Bolt has done it, Tyson Gay has done it, to be the guy on the circuit, the guy who has taken out whoever would have been holding the crown at that time, historically, and then goes an entire season running multiple 100-meter races, 4, 5, 6 of them, however many, and just not lose. We've seen it before. And as of late, we really haven't had anybody run the table. Not in the last however many years. We just haven't had that. But it had happened in the past, which is why I resort back to explaining it. So could he be the first in a while to just dominate a season where if he steps on the line for a 100, he doesn't lose?
He could be. Because last year was really he proved himself big time last year because he didn't just run fast. He didn't just win gold. He proved it on the circuit, beating everyone he needed to beat, in terms of Noah and whatever. So he could be, but it won't be easy because of everything we just said with, Kishane looking good and, I guess questions on Noah and then, Jordan, coming out. This could be almost the test of, okay, you showed us last year. Now let's see you do it again this year in terms of on the circuit. The way he was running those races last year, if Oblique comes this year running like he did in Lausanne and in London, I don't know. I don't know if someone is actually going to take him down. Obviously, people are capable on the clock and all that, but I don't know. I don't
At
know.
that point, you'd be betting that Kishane will show up in the same race, and his execution will just be so impeccable through 80 meters that the last 20 won't matter that much.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the first bet. The second bet would be you catch Jordan Anthony on a flyer where he on one of them days where just like that race in Texas at the West Regional where he
Oh,
just
yeah.
running
Yeah.
like he ain't got a care in the world, just just locking in. Like those are the two guys who I think I don't think. I mean, Noah Lyles could get him. We know that, but that's not the question. The question is, do I think he will? From what I've seen of Noah thus far, I I'm gonna need to see a little bit more evidence before I could say that this would be one of those moments where you give me a race in the next 2 to 3 months and I'm taking Noah over Oblique.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'd have to see it.
Yeah. I can't say it right now. Yeah, I'd have to see something from Noah, and I'm not even sure Noah would give us that. Like, I don't know if Noah is gonna have a reason to run, like, insanely fast in the 100. Like, and when I say fast, I'm talking, like, 9.8 mid to low, right? Obviously, he's capable of it, but I don't know if he's gonna do that on a circuit versus, like, Oblique. He could just go out there and do it. Like, some of these races were literally solo. Like, he ran 9.8s and Noah was running 10 flat. Like, he was just doing his own thing. So, I don't know. I Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could get a flyer also from Trayvon. We saw Trayvon run that 9.84 at Rome, last year at the Diamond League and beat out a pretty good field. There could be one of those situations where he catches a flyer. Again, he had a pretty good indoor season, so
You mean
that could be
catches it
something.
in a race with Oblique there?
With Oblique, yeah. It could be.
mean,
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm thinking about the race pattern. Because see, here's the thing. Trayvon's at a very interesting point in his career because he's been in the game for so long, dealt with the injuries. But the truth is, the indoor you just saw was the best indoor he's ever had.
Literally.
Like,
Like,
say he didn't win gold, but that's because the game is different. Now, granted, the shoes are different, if that matters.
that's
But
true too.
I mean, if that matters. But overall, my point is that the talent pool around at this time is different.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
mean, without casting aspersions, there were some Team USA groups that we sent to international competitions where if any of those sprinters, not named the Justin Gatlin or whoever, actually walks in, like we could get you 2 of the 3 entries we had to walk into a high school track meet right now. Nobody would know who we were looking at. Nobody, not even the coaches.
I know there's some
Like only people who would like trackety track folk would hear the name and see the face and be like, I think I remember you. Because we haven't seen them for so long. Because a lot of people come and go in this sport.
Yeah.
So if you've been here for 10 years in the finals at USA's, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That means you had to be in the front to stay that long.
Mm-hmm.
If you just made the final, you would eventually stop coming.
Yeah.
There's some people who came to the final last year who we may never see again. I don't mean that to be rude. I'm saying that with all due respect. We might never see that person ever again in a USA final.
Yeah.
So, and I said people, plural. So it's really it's a short list of guys who really are at that group. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to speculate. We don't know what races people have on their calendars. Who will show up in their calendars. Who will be there? But let's go back to let's get the list of people who have who because I want you to talk about like okay, here's the game we'll play. I'm gonna give you names, and the names are like people who actually you think could beat Oblique. And I mean, like there's a 50-50 chance that if they raced, they could actually get him. But let's say they race 3 times, they could get 1 of the 3. Is that fair? That's a good test. They could get 1 of the 3.
Yeah.
People could get 1 of the 3. All right, so starting from the bottom, no pun intended. No, 1 out of the 3. Would you take Letsile?
I wouldn't.
My
And
point.
I'll caveat this saying like in theory, all these guys can get 1 of the 3, but
In
like
theory, I could win. If we talking about theory.
Well, nah, I mean,
In
I'm saying
practicality, will he win?
I know. I guess I'm saying it in the sense that we've actually seen all these guys beat each other at some like even saying no to Letsile, like Letsile has beaten Oblique at on the circuit and at championships, but
the other version of him, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not picking Letsile. No, I can't do that.
Okay, so hey, same list. Darnell next.
No. No. Again, all due respect,
He had
but
the
like I
medal.
can't.
He had the world medal in
Yeah,
a race where
and
Oblique was
over.
present.
Yeah, so he beat out
But we're
Oblique.
talking
Same
about this
thing.
version, Super Saiyan Oblique. Is he beat?
Exactly.
No.
No. I can't do
Okay.
that.
All right, moving forward. So, all right, Akani.
Nah, I mean it.
Not
It
from what
can
we've
get
seen lately.
like not this version of Akani and Oblique right now. Nah.
All
I
right,
can't.
so moving on. All right, so Kenny B. Because he beat him twice last year.
Beat him twice, maybe, but I don't think so. And I think because of what you said, where like that version, the second version of Oblique, that after Jamaican trials and all that, that's a different version of Oblique. So I can't look at Kenny and say like, okay, you're gonna take down Oblique. I can't do that.
So this might be self-explanatory, but I'll just throw it in just to check, like fact check. Christian Coleman.
No. Yeah, I can't.
Not from
like
what we have nothing we've seen has told us that.
No.
Okay, and Trayvon, because you said he could.
I think Trayvon. This is where I'm so.
So you believe
probably
more in Trayvon than Kenny, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is interesting because of like how much I was saying Kenny versus like Kishane before, but I think Trayvon. I'm really looking at that indoor season, and again, this is like a one-off flyer kind of situation, right? I'm not saying okay, we go to the championships and Trayvon. Like I said, I'm not picking 3 people, let alone 2 people, to really beat Oblique at a championship at this point moving forward, but I think Trayvon in these one-off flyer situations probably has a better chance. That 984 last year, beating out, a high quality field relatively, that gave me more hope. And then he kind of compounded that with this indoor season. So,
Okay.
and again, I'll be fair to a degree where like I said, I actually think of Trayvon very highly in terms of his talent. I really, really think he has a lot of talent and he's showcasing that. I'm not saying he's going to run 976 again, but there is this aspect where he can catch a flyer in a sense.
All right. So Kishane, I already know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely Kishane could.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we hit the line finally, and then Noah.
So what's interesting, I put Noah and Trayvon right now in the same place because I'm not sure where Noah stands as it relates to 100 and like this new, in terms of like, what he could put down in a one-off. I think he could catch a flyer, but would it be fast enough to take down Oblique, who's like on one? Maybe. So
I'm gonna actually, with everything we said, right now, I feel like I'm thinking more clearly. Noah at the USA's indoors, which you got to give him credit for running because he had no reason to run it other than he wanted to.
Yep.
650, right? 651?
Yeah, 651. 651.
And that was
I
his
think.
first 60s of the season.
Yeah, the heat and in the final. Yep.
Yeah. So when I tell you that Noah don't like he's legitimate, like he is a real competitor. Like if track was a competitive sport, he is that. That's why you can't count this because like the fact that he didn't even go that fast, he wasn't supposed to go that fast. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
651. Like, who
good.
else were you gonna get to just pull up to USA's, not run any races in the 60 at all?
Yeah, all season.
And then do that.
It's very good. It's very good.
So for that reason, you can't disrespect him and say that he couldn't get a race.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So Kishane and Noah, the 2 guys who were on the podium, and Kenny, you were kind of like on the fault line.
Well, I said Trayvon. I said Trayvon can catch him. I said in a one-off, I feel like Trayvon more than Kenny.
You said 1 out of 3 for that, yeah.
Exactly.
You feel like Kishane would be more 50-50.
Kishane would be more 50-50, and then Noah would be closer to that
50-50.
Yeah.
But I 50-50, you say.
So essentially, like if I was to rank them, I would say Kishane, then Noah, then Trayvon, and then everyone else. I wouldn't pick them to beat out Oblique.
And Jordan Anthony is not in. He's with the everyone else.
I can't pick Jordan Anthony right now until I actually see it. That's what I gotta. Yeah.
The jury is still out.
Yeah, I got to
But you're not saying it's a hard no.
No, it's not a hard no. Because again, he has a talent. He has a talent.
Right.
Like,
so
I cannot
you're
deny his
saying
talent.
question mark.
Yeah, it's question mark until I actually see it. And I'm looking at the 100. That's what I need to see from Jordan. But and Oblique is just, he's different right now. Like,
okay, well,
yeah.
I mean, with all the names, I mean, I'm not going to throw any of these random fast times we got that just showed up on the clock. There's no point. That's not the game we're playing. Because some people think it's about the clock, and I'm like, hey, clocks, anybody can get a clock, and they can
Yeah,
massage it. I mean, tell that to AP Ranch. I said what I said.
yeah,
Like, they got their own clocks down there, man.
They
Claremont, Florida, they got their own clocks down there.
Oof.
Because the clocks I've seen, what I see on those tracks, don't be matching what we be seeing anywhere else. Like, they don't even match Eugene times.
They got their own situations, yo.
So, but hey, man, look, we'll find out where the crown goes. For now, Oblique is wearing it, and I don't see anybody coming to take it anytime soon.
He's holding it down. He's holding it down.
When it comes to the sprinting landscape on the women's side, it's been a very unique season up until this point because we've seen quite a few people run. Some ran indoors. Some have, I guess you would say, gotten their feet wet outdoors, but nothing all too significant. And then you have the one woman who was all the way on top of the world, 100 and the 200 last season. We haven't seen her run yet. And I was listening closely. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden was I guess at the Miramar Invitation, not in it, where she did an interview and they're like, hey, you're not running today. You're a little banged up. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm just seeing the landscape of the season. So let's take her at her word. She is just seeing the landscape of the season, seeing how things are going to play out. And whether or not Miramar helped with that or it didn't, everybody else who's not her, who had the talent to beat her, as far as I'm concerned, has run. So let's start here. Whether it's Sha'Carri running on grass and winning, over at the Stall Gift Games. Shout out to the person who told me how to say it correctly. So the Stall Gift Games. Whether it's Julian, who was looking like she was on one in the 60, but then gets bronze at the World Indoor. Shericka. I mean, we've seen her run a few races now.
Yeah.
And I would say mixed in terms of what we really have to go off of. Pretty clear that she has not gone Super Saiyan as of yet.
Yeah.
And then you have the Clayton twins, who they showed us some stuff indoors, but not too much. And then we got a 150 from them, which I don't really know what we do with that. It happened. So all of that. Who looked the best from what we've seen? Like all the stuff that's actually happened in 2026. Who has looked the best? And let's keep in mind that what we're really thinking is who looks like the biggest threat to take down Melissa on the circuit this year? Because that's all that really matters. The races that are going to actually happen.
Yeah. Because Melissa is, like you said, she's like the theoretical crown holder. She's the world champion. And it's like, okay, who's going to take her down? Because she's going to be on the circuit this year. I think Sha'Carri looked the best by far out of anyone who's like a contender in a sense. Where, I mean, you could take it for a grain of salt. She ran on grass, but like she ran 120. She ran down the field. Apparently, it's like something that doesn't happen frequently, with whoever in terms of, people running from scratch. And, she's coming off of injury last year. She got 5th place, at the World Champs. She didn't even run. I don't even think she ran 10-8 last year. Like she didn't even run like her best, that we know her as. So I think starting off this year, for me, Sha'Carri has looked the best. And if I was to say, okay, if Melissa is going to line up against anyone this year, in a couple weeks, hypothetically, I think Sha'Carri would give her a good run for her money. Now, obviously, Melissa hasn't opened up. Again, who knows what happened with the 4x1, but that doesn't mean Sha'Carri would definitely beat Melissa, because we saw a different Melissa last year. Like she didn't just, win. She dominated on a whole different level. On the circuit, beat out Julian Alfred, Olympic champion. Like you said, Julian, ran indoors this year, mixed, but like Melissa is on a different level. And I'm assuming she's just going to jump right back into 2026 and do the same. But Sha'Carri, I'm getting the vibes of like 2023 Sha'Carri this year. Again, she hasn't run on a track yet, so I'm probably jumping the gun. I need to see more. But she looked at least good enough to say, okay, we can have an interesting kind of race this year. But I don't know if you feel the same. Again, this is all grass. This is all grass.
Well, I do agree. I mean, I spoke about it where it's like Sha'Carri's really running against herself
Yeah.
more than it is like, yes, Melissa at her absolute best, we're talking 100 right now specifically,
Yeah.
does appear to be a pretty high bar to have to match. However, Sha'Carri had the talent to hit that bar.
Mm-hmm.
She had the talent between the wind assisted 10.5 and then the 10.6,
Yeah.
behind it. So it's like, all right, well, that's a real thing. So the question is she going to run like she's been in the past? Because she's just been so kind of erratic. And I say that from season to season. If you track it, 2021, everything was on the up and up till it wasn't. And then there was that. 2022 kind of stayed there. Like she was
Mm-hmm.
down on the curve. 2023, she went all the way back up on the curve. 2024, she was riding high and then started to decline on said curve. 2025, she was down, she climbed her way back to, I guess you would say, being in the conversation,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
she wasn't. Yeah, so, like, so now it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? That's really what it comes to for me, where it's like, "What are we doing, Sha'Carri? Let me know." Because if we're doing the whole, you know, I'm, the queen of the track thing, hey, I'm here for it. If we're doing, let's give some other people a chance, okay, well, we did that in the past. Guess we'll do it again. You know what I mean? Like 2022, we sent a team out there without her. But let's be honest, did we really want
Name.
to? Like, did we want to send it without her? So that because the real problem is, and I don't want to name drop. I'll just keep it focused on her. When Sha'Carri doesn't run, there's no one to fill that void. Melissa Jefferson, and I say
Mm.
doesn't run, I mean like run at her level. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, I guess you could argue, is filling the void now, but at the same time, it's like we just sent to the Olympics both of them, and that's 2 medals. If Sha'Carri's not running like that, were you getting a medal from anybody else wearing red, white, and blue? No,
Mm.
you weren't. So we have 2 world beaters, and then everybody else. At least if we're talking about the 100. Am I missing that?
I guess that's how it is now. I guess the only thing I would say is Melissa wasn't a world beater until she was a world beater. Because 2022, she was on that team. Like she made the 100-meter team to worlds, but
She was
and
the
even
American champion.
she was American champion. 2023, she didn't make the team. She was on the 4x1, but then it wasn't until 2024 where she became, okay, Melissa's starting to turn into a world beater because she got the medal. So I say that because it's like you're not a world beater until you're a world beater.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but
true,
you know,
but I mean, but you see the warning shots, and the warning shot was that's why her being an American champion is not a of
mm,
no importance, because we can't say that about these other folk.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody name you could give me who wears the red, white, and blue or might potentially wear it. You can't say that. And we all
I
know
mean,
that the World Indoor 60 for the women is not the same thing as what we got for the men's field this year. I mean, it's
mm,
like the field was not the same. It was different because Zainab Abdoso, she's a 60-meter specialist above all else. So,
yeah.
like, she's top tier in that event, but it doesn't translate to the 100 historically, and she's been in the game long enough for us to just count it. It's not
Mm,
being rude, it's just being honest that there's no reason for me to look for her in the 100 this year until something special happens, because she
yeah,
was
we got to
running
see
times
it.
similar to what she had already run
Yeah, we got to see
in
it.
60. Yeah, so that's why it's like, okay, we can't really make that much out of it. Sha'Carri looked great. I mean, in the stall gift games, as far as just the confidence level, and like, okay, like I'm back, I'm ready to run. Like it was like a fun way for her to kind of get it going, if you will. She ran
Hmm.
3 120-meter races
Yeah,
across a few days overseas. So it's like, and won. And I think she ran the fastest stall gift time they've ever seen on the women's
yeah,
side. So it's like if you're gonna run with randoms, you gotta run it like that. If you're gonna do it, you gotta go do it.
yeah.
Like, you gotta
The,
commit. And she committed. Because it wasn't like her semifinal, they said it wouldn't be a Sha'Carri situation if she didn't make the semifinal, almost come down to a heart attack where she was celebrating across the line. Somebody almost got her. Like she figure out how to make everything, cinematic.
Dramatic and everything. That's true. That's true.
But
no, yeah.
So
I was gonna say, I think it makes sense. It makes sense. She definitely looks the best out of everyone we've seen so far. Again, it's TBD on Melissa. I don't even know when she's gonna open up. But if we compare to, at least a Julian Alfred, we can't, not Julian Alfred's the Olympic champion. Like that didn't, she beat out Sha'Carri and Melissa to do that, and she's run 10-7 to be able to, and she ran 10-7. She runs 10-7 consistently, but last year, she got injured at Worlds, so she got the bronze medal. But she was running very consistently on the circuit. Indoors, though, the 60 getting third place, that does at least raise some questions on, okay, will you be able to hang with Melissa at least on 'cause again, Melissa's on a whole different level if we're assuming she's continuing on. Is Julian ready to jump into that realm? And, we'll mention Shericka in a few, but if we're talking Sha'Carri, Melissa, Shericka, Julian, Julian hasn't run 10-6 yet. That's a whole other thing as well, if we're just looking at the clock. But she has the medals to at least say, I deserve to be in this conversation. But I don't know. I guess I wonder if we're looking at, let's just take out Melissa for the time being. If we're taking Sha'Carri based on what we just saw and Julian based on what we saw indoors in a head-to-head race, who would you pick to come out on top as it stands right now, just based on the form that we're looking at from them?
Sha'Carri, because she needs it more.
Julian
is trying to, this is my feeling, totally from the outside. If we're just talking about competition and winning and achieving in track and field, actual track races, Julian Alfred is at this weird juncture where the Olympics happen, she wins the gold, and now she can't match that. You see what I'm saying? She can't match the accomplishment she already had. So she has to manufacture motivation because she's already gone further than any woman from her nation has ever gone. She's already in the sport. She's already a hero. She's already gonna get the statue. She's there.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing, that's not changing. Nothing she's about to do is going to change that. So, you can try to find motivation beyond okay, chasing records, but chasing records is not, this isn't Sydney. You human. So no disrespect to Sydney, I don't count her with the regular folk anymore.
She's different.
She feel like she's displaying her greatness with us. Everybody else feel like they're competing. For her, it's I'm coming down to this level with the regular people to go run some track.
Man.
At the events that she runs. So if you say that, that's how it feels, competitively speaking.
Yeah, she's different.
So,
yeah.
So she's off the grid. Everybody else who's winning stuff ain't winning it like that. Sha'Carri, though, she still doesn't have an Olympic gold. So for that reason, I think coming off of last year, coming off of the year before, she's more, dare I say, desperate for a taste of success, and a strong 2026 for her would reinstill fear in the hearts of her competitors, because that's the worst thing that happened to her. Her competitors stopped fearing her anymore. They were the 2023, 2024, they were afraid. Sha'Carri had, all of her swag and personality and all of that, all of the way she carried herself, but her presence was like Kishane. Whereas it felt like just the way she attacked the track was something else. So you didn't have to like her, you just had to acknowledge that part. And then that went away. 2022, that wasn't Sha'Carri when you saw her in the USA races. That wasn't her. That was just a person who looked like her. And in 2025, most of 2025, losing to Sade McCreef and Bree Rizzo, whoever else, that wasn't Sha'Carri. That was somebody else. God bless those ladies who ran that race. I'm just saying, it's not the same. So I think she needs it more. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think I definitely would take maybe not, let me not say definitely, but I'd probably take Sha'Carri right now. I agree on the idea that she needs it more, but I maybe look at it from a different landscape of I think she I think there's an aspect of like getting back in the good graces of like just like public her perception overall, right? There's an aspect of like the track, right? I I kind of agree. I think I agree on like the idea of like maybe her competitors fearing her, for 2023 and top of 2024. But I also think now, considering what we've seen, all you could be spoken about other times, but like the off the track stuff over the past year, I think there's an aspect of like, okay, I want to get back into the good graces of like just my presence on the track and all that. Cause coming off of obviously throughout 2023, but really coming off that winning that gold medal at World Champs, it was really like, okay, Sha'Carri is that girl. And then, the whole going into the Olympics, like all that presence as well. I think this is like that springboard to make sure that she can have that kind of like, love around her, better choice of words maybe, but like going into the next couple years. Whether or not she actually does win gold and all that, because the Olympics is still relatively far away. Like anything can happen between this year and next year and then going into 2028. But I think there's an aspect of like, okay, I want to make sure I just like focus on the track. I get myself into races. I'm competing. I'm like, running however fast so I can like make sure I'm like getting back in the good graces. And then on top of that, I'm also being competitive so I can like raise my confidence level of like, oh yeah, I can be a Julian Alfred. I can be a Melissa. Whether or not she does is a whole different question, but like getting that mental aspect back. That's what I think this year is for her and why she is going to be taking a lot of races very seriously. But this grass race is one aspect. I'm still very interested to see what Melissa does. Like, I'm very interested to see what Melissa does because I think it's hard for me to see what she did last year and then not think she's just going to open up and like I'm not sure I could bet on anyone beating her for this year for the time being. Like, I'm just not sure I could take anyone over her. Melissa, at least. I mean, it's tough.
It's a short group, but let's go through all the most talented people who took shots at her and who've dealt with her in the past. So, okay. We've already addressed Julian. She's coming off a world indoor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she'll keep coming up into the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's now throw Gabby Thomas in the mix. And I guess it moves to a conversation already to the 200 a little bit more directly. But yeah, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas gave us an 11 flat, almost a 1098, 1099, but 11 flat. And, she's going to obviously do some more things this season. I heard that she was focusing more on the 400, though. Is that true?
That's like her, because she said it like at the very, I think she did some interview in like January or February and said like her goals this year are the 400 and the 200. But like, I don't know, she opened up with 100. So I guess I'm not even 100% sure where her goals are. Maybe she gets the ultimate championships and wants to do the 400. I don't know. But I guess it's still TBD on what I do know the 200 is going to be part of her plan for sure. Like that's still her event. But I don't know where the 400 and what that will come into, how that will come into play. But yeah, we'll see. But well, I don't know.
I mean, I ask, what did that 11 flat tell you about her future in the 200 this season?
I think to me, that 11 flat actually is very impressive because Gabby Thomas, I was looking up, she's basically an anomaly in a 200. You don't run 21.6 without breaking 11 seconds. Like that just doesn't happen. There's like throughout history, there's like 5 people who have ever broken 22 seconds, like who've ever run 21 seconds and haven't broken 11 seconds in the 100. So essentially, Gabby has proven to me throughout her career that she doesn't need to run a fast 100 to be able to do damage in a 200, right? So this tells me that she is essentially in the form where it's like she might be back in that, gold, silver medal, kind of threat. I mean, and even then when she got a silver, it's only behind Shericka at, 2023. So that I think Gabby in the 200 is actually going to be very, very dangerous, assuming, she remains healthy and all that. That's what that tells me.
Well, that's Gabby that you brought up. See, everything's in relationship to Melissa right now. Because when Melissa won the 200 at the World Championships, I was caught between a rock and a hard place because didn't Amy Hunt get second?
Yeah, and it wasn't.
And she didn't break 22.
It was like 22-1. Like it wasn't.
Maybe 22:09, something like that.
Yeah, but essentially it wasn't fast. Like we just have to be honest, it wasn't fast. Like
so it was like 21:70 something, right?
21:68.
21:68 was the winning time. Okay,
that's what Melissa ran.
22.
Yeah, it was a blowout. It was bad.
Yeah. Like, so if that's what we're doing, the question is, okay, Gabby Thomas, who didn't get to go to Worlds, Shericka Jackson, who was kind of there.
Yeah, injuries and all that, I guess.
Physically there, but that wasn't Shericka running.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't a Shericka that, Shericka.
Well, I feel like I already know the answer. Who looks more promising that they're headed back to, beat Melissa territory in the 200?
Gabby or Shericka?
Yeah.
I mean, based on what we see now, I say Gabby. I don't know. I assume you think the same?
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, the Shericka conversation is hard because, and I'm not saying this, to make Jamaican fans feel better. I'm saying this because this is what I believe. That I'm trying to understand where Shericka is on the curve. Like, where is she on her career graph? Because at her peak, her peak didn't coincide with an Olympic year. It just didn't.
No, it's tough.
2022 and 2023, that's not what it was. 2024 was supposed to be her time. Didn't work. 2028 is now past her time. Like, the window is too long to wait in the context of a sport for you to have to hold on and still be that same person. So the question is, can she get back there? Like, there's a reason why, like, on the run sheet, Elaine Thompson-Herah didn't come up. We could add her in for kicks. We could do it. But the thing is, we would be having to go too far back.
Yeah.
To try to pretend that she is right now where she was. She might be a version, but that may not be the optimal version. And that's where it is with Shericka, where it's like, she's in these conversations because what we've seen at the height. I'm saying, are we ever going to see that again? I think the answer is no. I think 21.5 sub Shericka is gone. I believe that. I hope I'm wrong, because at this point, I just want her to get an Olympic gold. I'm not Jamaican. I just want her to get it because she deserves it.
She deserves it.
I want it as like retro. I want it like back pay for the years she gave us in 2022 and 2023, where it's like, you were supposed to have a gold, and I want all these other people to know that she is who she is. So please, just go get one, and then we can be like, all right, yes. Everybody else will acknowledge that she is, but it may not happen.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm reserving. Well, all right. Let me be clear at least. Like, no, based on what we've seen now, I'm not betting on Shericka to like be that back to that 21-4 form and all that. I'm not betting on that. Now, I think it hypothetically can happen over the next couple of years. Like, I would not be surprised if we get Shericka, if she finds a way in 2028 and is like, hey, I'm back. This is the only season. This is the last Olympic season, and I'm healthy. I'm ready. And she drops, 21-4 and wins Olympic gold. I think that wouldn't surprise me. Again, I'm not betting on it right now, though, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I'd be surprised.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think the only way she went in now is like the way Jordan won in 98. Like, Jordan won in 98 where he wasn't Jordan from 93.
I mean,
he wasn't Jordan from 96. He was just barely good enough to still take y'all out, even though he wasn't himself. I think that's what it would be. But continue. I think it would be, if we just saw 21-68, Shericka 21-65 for the win. That's what I think would be more likely to see.
That's more likely. And I personally actually don't like making the comparison, but Shelly Ann found a way to like break the system, and at whatever it was, 35, 36 years old, is running 10-6 and winning world championship gold, and like she found a way. So that's why I say like it's I can't count it out. But yes, more likely that it's it's something else. But for now, I think Gabby is just looking more favorable in the 200 relative to Shericka. And personally, when I'm looking at, I'll come back to 100 in a second, but like if I'm looking at Melissa versus Gabby in a 200, I'm actually probably I feel like I'm slightly favoring Gabby, though not saying it'd be a blowout or anything, but like, again, Gabby has shown that she doesn't need to run a fast 100 to run a very fast 200. So I like Gabby's chances in the 200. I will say though, and kind of jumping around, but like Shericka, with all this talk in the 200 of like, not looking that great, she did get fourth place at the World Champs last year in the 100, and not too far off what Julian Alfred, literally not too far off Julian Alfred, and Julian maybe not looking at like the peak of her powers. So Shericka in the 100 is a more interesting conversation as we go throughout this year. But I guess TBD.
That's fair. I mean, but keep in mind, that was just Shericka and Sha'Carri, neither of them being themselves in that event either. The same ones who were in not that order were in 2023 at the top in that event. So it's sort of like, it's hard for me when I've seen what people are capable of competitively and on the clock, and I see what's clearly not that.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me to be able to try to understand or put it in, put it in a perspective that is still favorable, because unfortunately the sport is not scoring points and putting them in a bag for your team or even your nation, if that makes you feel better. The sport has become, amassing medals and accolades and times and leaderboards and all-time lists and so on. And if you ain't giving me none of those, no medals, no records, no all-time lists, no nothing, and we've seen it, it doesn't feel like an accomplishment anymore. It feels like that's an accomplishment for people who never got a medal. Like going fifth at the world is something for a person who's never had a medal and might never get one. That's a thing for you, not for people who've gotten medals in the past, including gold.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking of it like Shericka's trajectory back, even with Sha'Carri, like the trajectory back. Like they've shown, I don't know, at least with both of them. Like I have a clear idea that like Shericka got injured in 2024 and had to pull out the Olympics. And then she had to work her way back to get fourth place at the World Champs in the 100 and then get a bronze medal in the 200. So I can see a trajectory of getting back to a place. Now, again, not saying she's going to run 10.6 this year or 21.4, but I think she can get back into that conversation that by the end of the year, it's like Julian, Shericka, who's battling for spots in a sense, Sha'Carri and all that.
That's true, but I feel like she might have. I guess I looked at last year as like this might be. Like I know she's better than last season. Like I know she can get. I know she believes it, but I think she can really give more than what last season was. However, I don't know how much more. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how much more.
Interesting. I mean,
I don't. Like I had because last year the story wasn't Shericka was hurt. Is that fair? That wasn't the narrative that we were walking through the season was. She was just looking up and down, or not even up and down. I'd say rickety, I would say, throughout the entire season, and then got to the world and was able to use her experience and talent to get her as far as she did. For a woman who, that's how I value it, saw the season. Did I miss something in the races?
I think throughout 2025, because I think throughout 2025, like she entered injured. That's how I saw it. Like she dealt with various injuries coming into 2025 and was essentially not running at her best. Because she started off the year, one of her first races, she lost to a Navy battle in the 200.
Yeah.
So I just think I'm looking at the string of performances of like, you literally got injured in 2024. Like we saw her literally like fall to the track or whatever it was at that Hungary race with like Julian Alfred and all that. And, and then that carried over into 2025. And that kind of like, that told me the story of why she didn't do as well as she did.
Yeah. So you think that injury lingered much longer than any of us really understand? Because
I think it's
to 9 month rotation.
Well, I think it's a combination of the injury and then not having the opportunity to prepare. Like, I probably think she just didn't do like fall base training as she could have, like, and then, all the other training aspects, so she was just like drastically behind because she still ran 10.8 a couple times last year. It's not like she completely fell off, but.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying, yeah, we'll find out because that's why I said the career graph because everybody is different.
Yeah.
But there are certain things to be true that generally, as you get older in sports that are physically demanding, you start to tail off. And Sha'Carri's not there on the graph. You see what I'm saying? Her stuff be like off the track stuff and like all this other things that be happening. And it like, it don't be feeling like she just don't have it in the tank. It just be feeling like for whatever reason the car ain't running smoothly today. Whereas like that's how I just be pulling random analogies, but like Shericka, that it don't feel like that. It feel like I just saw like this top flight F1 vehicle. Like pristine, everything running like a dream. And now it's looking like NASCAR. And I'm like, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And to tell me, so that means we about to change the car, or something. I mean, something about to happen, and that's I could be. I want to be wrong on this. This is one of those takes where I want to believe that. To me, it feel like I'm gonna say this with all due respect. Till anybody show me they can run 21.4, you're chasing the ghost of Shericka. Till you show me that, you're chasing the ghost. That means if you're winning and she's there, as far as I'm concerned, you ain't really. If you're not running that, then it feels like she's not able to give her best. And by best, I mean like what we've seen as her best. And that's why you're getting those spots.
Yeah.
Because she was so far off the curve.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It wasn't like she was just edging people out at the line. She was the best women's 200-meter sprinter in the world. And even Ray Charles could have figured it out.
It's true. She was on a different level. The only other thing I'll say, because again, I'm very hesitant. I'm just not sure she's on like that career path yet of like the downturn of the graph. Is like we saw Elaine Thompson-Herah go crazy 2015. She got silver at the World Champs, but then 2016 she went crazy, won the double at the Olympics in the 100 and the 200, like not even close. She was out for 2 back-to-back years, 2017, actually multiple years, 2017, 2018, 2019, and in 2020, nobody kind of competed, but she came back better than ever in 2021, like back to that same thing and actually better than what we saw in 2016. So that's why I say and like you said, every athlete is different, but it wouldn't surprise me if Shericka does, kind of get back to that. But that's all to say, I'm not sure if she's taking down Melissa in like 100 and all that. Like it's all to say that because again, Melissa is operating on a different level. Yeah,
she's the one who has the momentum.
Yeah,
and just needs to keep it rolling. Everybody else needs to manufacture it. So I mean, when it comes to the Jamaican sprint sprinters, I mean, I'll just tag this on here where, I mean, we've seen a lot, like already between, Shanoia Douglas, Brianna Liston, the Clayton twins from last 2 seasons now. So it's like, okay, Shericka's there, Elaine Thompson-Herah's coming back.
Yeah.
Who else should we be paying attention to from the Jamaican sprinters? Because the Clayton twins have both, shown, their own pockets of great success. So it's like, do they have it on lock, or are any of these other people in the chase pack coming to get them?
I think the Clayton twins they really have it locked down. Now, other people can get into that conversation, but you're talking about like just taking Tina Clayton, at least at minimum. She has a silver medal and ran 10.7 behind Melissa. Like you're talking about the rest of the world at this point, right? And even Tia Clayton, she made the Olympic final in 2024, and she's run 10.8 a bunch of times. Like they're operating on a different level for the time being. Now, these other athletes like Brianna Liston, like, well, Shanoy Douglas, super young now, so not like there yet, but they can come. But I think it's the Clayton twins at this point when we're talking about the 100 meters. That's actually who. Okay, can Sha'Carri Richardson? What is Sha'Carri going to look like on the circuit versus the Clayton twins? Because we've seen them both run very fast. What is Julian Alfred going to look like against them? On the circuit again. I mean, Julian again on the circuit last year, she was beating them a couple times. But what are they? They're in that conversation, whereas like the other Jamaicans are not there yet. They need to still prove themselves.
We don't know what their career graph is. I don't know if this is where they are and it is going to be this for some time. I don't know if this is where they are today and then they'll be somewhere else by the time this year is over. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm saying the graph could be here. It could be still going up. I'm sure they believe it's still going up. But I'm saying that, there's a lot of athletes who thought that and that's where they were. Hey, made Olympic final 4 years later. Still in the final, got 7th. You know what I mean? Like that happens. It happens. Some people never moved up. They just stayed there and then dropped back after a while. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not getting crazy with it. It's just, we know that right now they're in that Marie Jose Talu Smith talent pool. Like, that's what I have. Like, her talent pool. I have them right circa where she's been.
Nah, I don't know. And actually, I mean, Talu is actually very accomplished.
Yeah, like I booked them in that same pocket of like, you should be in the final. Don't know what's happening when we're there.
Yeah, yes, maybe. I think I'm more inclined to say like they are true medal threats because I'm looking at them in the same realm as Shericka, Elaine, Shelly, and I feel like both of them are very
carry it.
I think they're going to continue on. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be like, they're going to have those type of careers. I don't know about that. But I think both of them are definitely going to be, like, you cannot take them out the conversation for medals at this point. And, like, other people are going to have to get past them. The same way that Julian and Melissa and, Shericka and, Sha'Carri, like, I feel like Tia and Tina Clayton are in that same realm. I don't feel like they were just like, okay, they made finals and they may drop off. Obviously, yes, anything can happen. But I feel like they've proven themselves enough where it's like they are in this medal conversation going forward.
Okay.
That's my feeling. That's my feeling. But
if that's true, I'm thinking like there's a bunch of names that I've heard from Jamaica when it comes to women's sprinters. And we've been waiting for a while for some of these names. I mean, I saw Brianna Williams in Miramar the other day, and I was like, man, I haven't seen that name in a while.
Yeah.
But I remember her and Tamari Davis were in the same spot at one point.
Yeah.
If you rewind the clock, she's another name that like, hey, we heard that name and it's, hey, man, where's she about to be? And now, it's the landscape is looking real different.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean by like, there's levels to this and there's a lot of people who kind of like, they pop and show you. And with them, with the Clayton twins, it almost feels like they're two different sprinters. We say we've been waiting to see them both be hot at the same time and carry that through an entire season. I would say between both of them, y'all are always going to have one person for the next, let's say, from now through, I'll just say 2032. I'd say you're probably going to catch one of them hot at any given moment to make some noise. I don't know if you're getting both.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think
it's like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Like they were acting, they were the same character, but it was two folk.
Yeah.
Between both of y'all, we finna get a good take.
Somebody. Yeah. I like that. Just like all these other women, the Clayton twins have shown on the circuit that they can stack up with everybody. Whether it's, Tia Clayton has won Diamond Leagues against Stack Fields, in 2024. Tina Clayton, has been holding her own and obviously she got a medal. So I think that's why I see them as like very different. Whereas, and to me, they're like, to a degree, kind of proven themselves. Whereas like someone like Jason Sears, she just got a medal indoors in the 60, but I need to see her prove herself outdoors in the 100, before I'm like, okay, she's up there with the other women. same thing with like, and all these athletes. Like, I love all these athletes and I'm rooting for all of them. But like TT Terry as an example, right? She's made a bunch of US teams and she's even made finals. But like she hasn't run either as fast or actually gotten on the podium yet. So that's why I feel like the Clayton twins, they're to me already in that conversation of, okay, like you are medal threats. You are in that conversation.
I have them maybe in between where TT Terry has been. Which is why I said that Marie-Josée Talu-Smith group. Like, that's the group of like, they're in that, we're in the finals crowd. Because see, okay, this is a good way to put it. But yeah, so you remember when you were at a high school track meet and how there's basically like just tiers or different levels at the meet. You can see it anywhere you go in the country if we're talking about here in America, where you have the kids who go to check in for the 100 or the 200, and everybody's feeling like, okay, we're about to go run this race. But y'all know that there's a group of kids here who are going to make the final. So you see the group that's going to make the final, and you know some people think they could be in that group, but they don't believe they belong. And then you have the finalists, and then even in that group, there's levels. Because some of the finalists are thinking to themselves, like, okay, that guy's going to win. That girl's going to win.
Yeah,
And they know it, especially in a high school meet where even a 2-star kid could be a king if everybody else is 1 star and down. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, we know there's levels to that. And the pro circuit is the same way, where we know which ones of y'all is going for medals and not. So you're saying the Clayton twins are in the we're going for medals crowd.
Yeah.
They're not just in the we're in the finals group anymore.
Nah, they're done with that. To me, they're already in that, like, we're going for medals. That's what I think. That's what I'm
like making the final is not an accomplishment. And that's a better way to rephrase it.
Yeah, no.
Making the final is not even there's no pat on the back that comes from making the final.
No. Because even to me last year, Tia Clayton, she got injured at Jamaican trials, but then she was trying to qualify at the Diamond League final, but she didn't qualify. That was like a big surprise because she was also supposed to be in that final. Like, if you know, they're already like, you need to be in the final. It's about, can you actually get on the podium? That's again my opinion, just based on, you know, what they're looking like over the past couple of years.
But I mean, where did that put the people who, again, like a TT Terry who never got on the podium? Like, she's in the finals crowd to me. She shows up to a meet. I expect her to be like, I'm going to be in that final. However, I don't think that anybody who's walking into that final is like, we expect her to be on the podium, except maybe her. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But there's people. If you ask the athlete, they would have looked at Julian Alfred and be like, "Yeah, she's likely going to be up there."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. There's the levels. And again, it's all due respect, but it's like based on what we've seen. It's like TT Terry is just a level below until I see, okay, you're like podium spot, like you are actually contending for these medals. She has a talent and ability, but like I can't look at Tina Clayton, who just ran 10.7 and beat out an entire field of Sha'Carri and Shericka, even if they didn't look great. You know, Julian Alfred, like she is a medal threat going forward, to me at least. And again, everything we've seen on the circuit, it's like Tia Clayton, you know, they're running consistently on the circuit, so they've proven it to me already. But what do you think happened?
Sounds to me like the Diamond League final is going to be a real important qualifier for some of these Jamaican women.
Yep.
Because if the Clayton win, they're going to keep this up, then them spots ain't going to be easy to get. So y'all better hope Julian Alfred don't feel like running Diamond League finals.
Exactly. Julian Alfred or Melissa, then it just might be over.
Let that ride. Yeah.